So in this particular session, we are going to discuss the most important ESI and ARD reports. And guys, this is the part 3 of this particular series. So before beginning the session, all of you are requested to give a thumbs up in the comment section that if I'm audible and visible to all of you. So guys, quickly tell me in the comment section if I'm audible and visible to all of you so that we can begin this particular session. So I'm getting some responses here. So good evening Anshu, good evening Jaspreet. I really believe that all of you are really preparing well for upcoming NABARD Grade A exam. Okay guys, as we already told you that we are running a very important series for the NABARD Grade A exam, that is of the most important MCQs, the 200 MCQs for the schemes as well as reports, and this is basically the part 3 of the ESI and ARD reports. Already part 1 and part 2 have already been done by Gurkira sir, have been taken by him, and now I will be continuing with this particular session in which we will be covering the very important reports, that is the NEP 2020, NFHS, Census 2011 and the SECC 2011, and all these reports and indices are really very important for the NABARD Grade A exam. So good evening Tarun, Rathod, Vishal, Satyam. I really believe that guys all of you are healthy and preparing well. So before beginning this particular session, let me show you the schedule of whole this particular series, which is basically for the current affair revision session series, okay, in which we will be revising the reports and schemes, even the special reports and schemes, okay. So यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं guys, we have already done with the first and second part of this particular session, and now today we are basically covering the part 3 of this particular session, that is in which we are going to discuss the 4 very important reports that I have already told you, that is NEP 2020, National Family Health Survey, Census and Socio-Economic Caste Census. So guys, I really believe that all of you are very excited for the today's session, but before beginning it, if you are new to our YouTube channel, kindly subscribe it and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates of the courses and videos offered by us, and you can join our Telegram channel to get the access to the PDF of these sessions. So guys, let's begin the session, but before beginning that, there is a small instruction to all of you that you are required to just mention the question number and then the option that you think is the right answer to this particular question. So let's begin the session with the very first question here on your screen. So guys, quickly tell me that who was basically, that under whose chairmanship the committee for the draft National Education Policy 2020 was being constituted in the month of June 2017. A very easy question, and a question which has already been asked in the previous year exam, and that is why such kind of question is really very important from the exam point of view. So guys, quickly tell me what is the right answer. The person under whose chairmanship the committee for the draft National Education Policy was being constituted. And absolutely right guys, I'm getting the right answers from the people here, that the right answer to this question is option 1, Dr. K. Kasturi Ranjan. So here you can see that in 2017 this particular committee was being constituted under the chairmanship of Dr. K. Kasturi Ranjan ji, theek hai? Apart from that, when I talk about the foundational pillars for the National Education Policy 2020, so basically it is having 5 pillars, that is access, equity, quality, affordability and accountability. ठीक है, तो ये 5 pillars हैं जिसके ऊपर भी question आ सकता है एग्जाम के अंदर. Kindly note down these 5 pillars as well. ठीक है जी. Now let's move on to the next question, and the next question is, how many out of school children will be brought back into the mainstream under the National Education Policy 2022? Let's see who will answer the question correctly here. You're just required to tell me the number of children who will be brought into the mainstream under the National Education Policy 2020. So let's see who will answer the question correctly. Question number 2, absolutely right guys. The right answer is option number 4, that is 2 crore. So basically, as per the National Education Policy, it targets 2 crore out of school children that will be brought back into the mainstream under the National Education Policy 2020. And guys, when I talk about this policy, this basically targets and really thinks that the foundational literacy and numeracy is really very important, and this is the urgent and necessary prerequisite, and that's why it focuses on it. And इसके लिए यहाँ पर states को भी implement करनी होगी है, and by which year this will be done by 2025. And here you can see it is clearly mentioned here that states will prepare an implementation plan for attaining universal foundational literacy and numeracy in all the primary schools till grade 3 by year 2025. A very important finding from the National Education Policy 2020. Let's move on to the next question. So this question is basically on the curricular structure. The structure of the curricula that has been changed by the National Education Policy 2020. So here the question is that as per the NEP 2020, the 10+2 structure of the school curricula is to be replaced by which of the following curricular structure? So guys, we all know that presently we are having 10+2 structure, okay? But what exactly will be the new structure as per the NEP 2020? That is what is being asked in the question. So quickly tell me what is the right answer. Question number 3. Is it 5+3+4+4, 5+5+3+4, or it is 5+4+3+2, or 5+3+3+4? So most of the people are going with option number 4, that is 5+3+3+4. Nilesh, Vishal, Surya, Manpreet, Satyam, Rathod, Akash, everybody going with option number 4, and that is absolutely right, guys. The right answer is 5+3+3+4. That is the new structure which is going to replace the old one, that is of 10+2 structure. ठीक है, तो आप यहाँ पर देख सकते हो, and that structure will be for 3 to 8, 8 to 11, 11 to 14, and 14 to 18 years age. ठीक है, and this system will be having 12 years of schooling with the 3 years of Anganwadi preschooling. So that is also a very important point that you should remember from the exam point of view. Now the next question. In this question you are just required to identify the correct statement as which of the following reforms has been introduced in the school curricula and pedagogy. Once again, I would like to tell you here that whenever you find such kind of question, what exactly is to be done? You are just required to focus on the keywords. What are the keywords here? First of all, the students will be having the increased flexibility and the choice of the subjects. Under the assessment reforms, board exams on up to 2 occasions during any given school year can be given. The third important thing, the vocational education will start in the schools from the 2nd grade. See, kindly look at these particular statements very carefully and quickly tell me that what is the right answer. So here guys, I am getting the right answers from the people, that is both option A and B are correct. So what exactly is the wrong part in the statement? See, can anybody tell me that? So here Nilesh is saying that vocational grade 6. Absolutely right, guys. So here it is being mentioned that it should be from the 2nd grade, but this is not the right part. When I talk about the right part is basically the 6th grade, and that is the reason that why the statement is incorrect, and the right answer is option 1, that is both A and B are correct. So here you can see that it is basically 6th grade. Now apart from that, a new and comprehensive national curricular framework for the school education will be developed, and who will be developing it? The institution that is named as NCERT. Guys, a very important point. See, NEP basically facilitates the creation of some of the other institutions, the bodies which will be responsible for some kind of task, और वो सभी के सभी जो institutions है, authorities हैं, और वो क्या-क्या task होगा उनका, क्या-क्या responsibilities होंगी, that is very important to be remembered by you from the exam point of view. Now let's move on to the next question. So here the next question is, as per the NEP 2020, which of the following languages is to be offered at all levels of the schools and higher education as an option for students, including in the 3 language formula? Is it Maithili, Punjabi, Nepali, Sanskrit? So you are just required to tell me the name of the language. See, the name of the language which will be offered at all the levels of the school and higher education. Is it Maithili, Punjabi, Nepali, and Sanskrit? See, we all know that NEP 2020 basically focuses on and promotes the mother tongue. But here the question is different. It is basically asking that which language will be offered at all the levels of the schools. And I am getting the right answers here. Princey, Rathod, Kunal, and Surya, Subhashmita, Vishal, Shashank, everybody is saying that option 4 is the right answer. That is absolutely right. That is Sanskrit. So Sanskrit is the right answer to the question. And here you can see that the policy is emphasized on the mother tongue and the local languages, the regional languages as the medium of instruction at least till grade 5. That means till grade 5 the students can have their education in the mother tongue or the regional language. So that is a very important point which has been given emphasis by the NEP 2020. Okay, ji, let's move on to the next question. So as per the NEP 2020, here you can see that a new National Assessment Center, Parak, will be set up. As I already tell you that such kind of centers, the authorities which will be created under the NEP 2020, that is you are really required to remember. And whenever you find such kind of acronyms like here, it is Parak. तो यहाँ पर क्वेश्चन आता है कि दैट व्हाट एग्जैक्टली पी स्टैंड्स फॉर इन द परख। एंड गाइस आई वांट टू टेल यू हियर दैट ऐसे क्वेश्चंस वी हैव ऑलरेडी सीन इन द प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस। फॉर एग्जांपल देश स्टैक पोर्टल में व्हाट एग्जैक्टली ई स्टैंड्स फॉर, देयर वाज अ क्वेश्चन लाइक दैट इन द आरबीआई ग्रेड बी फेज 1 एग्जाम, एंड सिमिलरली सच काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन कैन बी आस्क्ड इन द नाबार्ड ग्रेड ए फेज 1 as well as phase 2 exam. So that's why you are really required to remember the full form of such kind of acronyms. So guys, when I talk about the P, so here P stands for performance. Let's see that what exactly is the full form of Parak. So Parak stands for performance assessment review and analysis of the knowledge for holistic development. So that is basically what Parak stands for. ठीक है, so it will be set up as a standard setting body. ठीक है, I hope that this is very much clear. Let's move on to the next question. So the next question is, as per NEP 2020, it is aimed to increase the gross enrollment ratio in higher education, including the vocational education, from 26.3% to -% by 2035. So basically it is asking that by 2035 जो हमारा ग्रॉस एनरोलमेंट रेशियो है उसको हम कितना टारगेट कर रहे हैं कि वो इंक्रीज हो जाए फ्रॉम 26.3%. So what is the right answer? Question number 7. 30, 40, 60, 50 or 100%? What is the target that the government of India is basically achieving under the National Education Policy 2020? And here I am getting the right answers. Absolutely right, guys. The right answer is 50%. So that is a target which is being mentioned in the National Education Policy 2020 to increase the gross enrollment ratio. Apart from that, there will be a National Research Foundation that will be created as an apex body for the fostering of a strong research culture and building research capacity. We all know that research and development is really very important. और इंडिया का इन्वेस्टमेंट जब हम बात करें रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट में, इट इज ऑल्दो वेरी लेस, एंड दैट्स हाउ द NEP 2020 basically wants to improve this particular part, improve the research and development infrastructure in India, and that is why such kind of step has been taken, has been mentioned, and that is why we will be having the National Research Foundation, and that is the right answer to this particular question. Let's move on to the next question. The next question, Higher Education Commission of India. This will be set up as a single overarching umbrella body for the entire higher education, excluding, तो basically कौन सी education को ये exclude करने वाला है? तो HECI, that is Higher Education Commission of India के अंदर इसमें से कौन सी वो स्ट्रीम है जो नहीं आएगी? Is it medical education, engineering education, legal education, both 1 and 2, or 1 and 3 only? So here most of the people are going with option number E, that is both 1 and 3. That means it is going to it is not going to include the engineering education. So guys, but this is basically the right answer here. The right answer is both option 1 and 3. So यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हो guys that higher education will be set up and it is going to exclude the engineering education. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पर एक्सक्लूड करेगा ये मेडिकल और लीगल एजुकेशन दोनों को, और यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हो HECI के ऊपर सारी की सारी इंपॉर्टेंट इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड की गई है. ठीक है, HECI इट इज गोइंग टू फंक्शन एज अ फेसलेस इंटरवेंशन. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट पब्लिक एंड प्राइवेट हायर एजुकेशन वो भी उसको भी गवर्न करेगा विद द सेम सेट ऑफ नॉर्म्स फॉर द रेगुलेशन, एक्रेडिटेशन एज वेल एज एकेडमिक स्टैंडर्ड्स. Now come to the very important point. What is that? The important point here is that it is going to having 4 independent verticals. What exactly these verticals are? That is the National Higher Education Regulatory Council, then we have General Education Council. Apart from that, we will be having the Higher Education Grant Council and National Accreditation Council. So guys, please type yes that if this Higher Education Commission of India is very much clear to all of you. Now let's move on to the next question of our today's session. That is here on your screen. So the next question, the National Curriculum Framework for the Teacher Education. ठीक है, इसको भी फॉर्मुलेट किया जाएगा by the National Council for Teacher Education in consultation with. Basically कौन सी वो बॉडी है जिसके साथ ये National Council for Teacher Education को बनाने वाले हैं. As I already told you, there are various kind of centers, the institutional bodies, the standard bodies which will be set up under the NEP 2020, and that is why all such kind of things are really very important to be covered. So question number 9 guys, you are just required to tell me the name of the authority, and that authority is basically the NCERT. So as I already told you, NCERT के साथ मिलके क्या करने वाला है? Here once again, Harshal, Anshu, Kunal, Nilesh, Vishal, Karun, everybody have answered the question correctly. So यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हो that a new and comprehensive national curriculum framework for the teacher education will be set up, and this will be done in association with the NCERT. और जब हम बात करते हैं affiliation की, जब colleges, we all know that they are affiliated with certain body, and when I talk about this particular part, the affiliation of colleges is to be phased out in the 15 years, and a stage wise mechanism is to be established for the granting graded autonomy to the colleagues. So that is what you are required to remember from the exam point of view. तो यहाँ पर हमने पढ़ा पूरे का पूरा नेशनल करिकुलम फ्रेमवर्क फॉर द टीचर एजुकेशन एनसीटीई के बारे में, जिसको कि बनाया जाएगा एनसीटीई के द्वारा in association with the NCERT. A very very important point that you should remember from the exam point of view. Now guys, let's move on to the next question, and now we are moving towards the next very important report, that is the National Family Health Survey 5. So we all know that the 5th edition of the National Family Health Survey was being launched. Now you are required to tell me that इसमें से कौन सी वो मिनिस्ट्री है जो कि इस हेल्थ सर्वे को कंडक्ट करती है. Is it the Ministry of Home Affairs, Rural Development, the Electronics and Information Technology, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, or the Ministry of Women and Child Development? See, a very very हल्का क्वेश्चन. इस तरीके के क्वेश्चन गाइस आ सकते हैं. So whenever you are covering the reports, we always tell you that you are required to cover the 5 dimensions. What are the 5 dimensions? The very first thing is the releasing body, then the framework, then we all know the important rankings, the important findings, as well as the key recommendations of that particular report. और जब हम बात करते हैं कभी भी किसी रिपोर्ट के बारे में पढ़े तो उसकी रिलीजिंग बॉडी कौन सी थी वो आपको पता होना चाहिए. तो इस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन में जब हम बात करें नेशनल फैमिली हेल्थ सर्वे की, दैट इज द 5th एडिशन ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर सर्वे फॉर द पीरियड 2019 टू 2020. तो यहां पर अगर आई टॉक अबाउट द राइट आंसर इज मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हेल्थ एंड फैमिली वेलफेयर. और जब हम बात करते हैं जितने भी राउंड थे नेशनल फैमिली हेल्थ सर्वे के, उसे कंडक्ट किया था इंटरनेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट फॉर पॉपुलेशन साइंसेस. ठीक है, तो उसको रिलीज कौन कर रहा है, उसको कंडक्ट कौन कर रहा है? दीज आर 2 इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स, आर डिफरेंट थिंग्स व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द नेशनल फैमिली हेल्थ सर्वे. तो नेशनल फैमिली हेल्थ सर्वे को रिलीज किसने किया? मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हेल्थ एंड फैमिली वेलफेयर ने. और उसको कंडक्ट कौन कर रहा है? दैट इज द इंटरनेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट फॉर पॉपुलेशन साइंसेस, दैट इज द नेशनल नोडल एजेंसी फॉर द कंडक्टर ऑफ the National Family Health Survey. So I hope this is clear guys. Let's move on to the next question. So in the next question you are able to tell me that which one of the following states have total fertility rate above the replacement level. तो जो replacement level है उसमें से कितनी ऐसी states है जिनका ज्यादा है. ठीक है, so आपको मुझे बताने के इसमें से कौन सी स्टेट है which is having the total fertility rate having more than the replacement level. Is it Manipur, Meghalaya, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, or all of the above? So guys, what is the right answer to the question number 11? So here people are going with option number E, that is all of the above are the given states. Let's wait for others as well to answer this question. So Albert, Nilesh, Akash, Anshu, everybody saying that all of the above is the right answer. Absolutely right guys. The right answer is as Manipur, Meghalaya, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, all the states are basically having their TFR above the replacement levels. तो जब हम बात करते हैं TFR की, it has basically declined from 2.2 to 2.0. A very important finding from the National Family Health Survey. Data that you must remember from the exam point of view. ठीक है, तो टोटल फर्टिलिटी के रेट की बात करें तो NFHS 4 से 5 में जब हम आते हैं तो it has basically declined by 0.2 points from 2.2 to 2.0. ठीक है, and there are only 5 states in India which are having the above replacement level of the fertility, that is of 2.1. and basically what exactly the name of these states? These are Bihar, Meghalaya, Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand and Manipur. So guys, these are the 5 states that the name of which you must remember from the exam point of view, because any one name can be skipped from here and it can become the question, a probable question to be asked in the exam. ठीक है, Moving on to the next question. So the next question is about the contraceptive prevalence rate और वो कितना increase हुआ है. That is what you are required to tell me. कितना percentage से हमारा overall contraceptive prevalence rate increase हुआ है as per the National Family Health Survey 5. तो 4 से 5 पे कितना इंक्रीज हुआ है, दैट इज व्हाट यू आर रिक्वायर्ड टू टेल मी. हियर द ऑप्शंस आर बीइंग मेंशन्ड टू ऑल ऑफ यू. तो इसी तरीके के ऑप्शंस, क्लोज फिगर्स आपको एग्जाम के अंदर मिलने वाली है, एंड दैट इज व्हाई बाइफर्केशन ऑफ सच काइंड ऑफ डेटा इज रियली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड नाउ क्विकली टेल मी दैट व्हाट इज द राइट आंसर टू दिस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन. सो वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द कॉन्ट्रासेप्टिव प्रिवेलेंस रेट, एंड हियर गाइस द राइट आंसर टू द क्वेश्चन इज 67%. सो राइट आंसर टू द क्वेश्चन नंबर 12 इज 67%. So जिस स्टूडेंट ने भी ऑप्शन नंबर 5 को चूज किया है द राइट आंसर, गाइस काइंडली नोट दैट दिस इज नॉट द राइट थिंग. सीपीआर की जब हम बात करें, सो इट हैज बेसिकली इंक्रीज बाय 67%. तो हम यहां पर देख सकते हैं अर्लियर इट वाज 54% इन द एनएफएचएस 4 एंड नाउ इट हैज इंक्रीज्ड टू 67%। ठीक है, तो यहां पर बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है जो आपको याद रखनी चाहिए। और यहां पर एक और चीज है दैट द अनमेट नीड्स ऑफ द फैमिली प्लानिंग हैव विटनेस्ड अ सिग्निफिकेंट डिक्लाइन from 13% to the 9%. Another important figure that you should remember. The very first thing is जो CPR है वो increase हुआ है 54% to 67%. And the second important thing is जो कि हमारी unmet needs है family planning की, that has decreased from 13% to 9%. A very important point that you should remember. Let's move on to the next question. And the next question is, what exactly is the percentage of the children under the age of 12 to 23 months that have been fully immunized? तो वो अब आपको पॉपुलेशन बतानी है मुझे, दैट इज चिल्ड्रन विच इज हैविंग द एज ऑफ 12 टू 23 मंथ्स, जिनकी इसके बीच की एज है, उनको इम्यूनाइजेशन हो रखा है उनका। तो ऐसी बेसिकली कितनी परसेंटेज पॉपुलेशन है इस एज ग्रुप के चिल्ड्रन की, दैट इज व्हाट यू आर रिक्वायर्ड टू टेल मी। Here the options are 53, 61, 69, 77 and 83%. And guys, see, such kind of figures are being asked in the exam, and that is why we are covering all such kind of figures from the exam point of view. So here Krishan, Megha, Rathod, Vishal, everybody is saying that 77% is the right answer, and that is absolutely right guys, 77% is the right answer. And here you can see 77% children aged 12 to 23 months were fully immunized, compared with 62% in NFHS 4. That means in the National Family Health Survey 4, it was 62% and now it has increased to 77%. The value that you should remember from the exam point of view. Apart from that, और बाकी की चीजें की बात करें तो जब हम बात करते हैं कि सबसे ज्यादा हाईएस्ट कहां पर था, तो आप देख सकते हो कि सबसे ज्यादा जो हाईएस्ट है दैट इज बेसिकली in DNH and DD, that is Dadar Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu, that was 95%. And when we talk about the lowest, it was in the Nagaland with the 57% immunization only. So these are the points that you should remember from the exam point of view, that is really very important. So guys, now let's move on to the next question of our today's session, which is here on the screen. And here the question is about the institutional births. So the birth which are basically taking place in the institution is called the institutional birth. तो यहाँ पर उसकी जो परसेंटेज है वो कितना इंक्रीज हुई है, that is very much important to be remembered from the exam point of view. तो यहाँ पर NFHS 5 की डेटा से हम देख सकते हैं कि जो institutional births है that is basically a very good thing that has happened in our country, and this finding is really very important. So now quickly tell me that what is the right answer to this question. So the question is about the institutional births कितना इंक्रीज हुआ है, and guys here the right answer is 89%. So once again, Nilesh, Swati, Rathod, Megha, Arun, everybody have answered the question correctly. That is 89%. So यहाँ पर guys आप देख सकते हो institutional births has increased from 79% to 89%. Rural areas की बात करें, so it was 87%, and when I talk about the urban areas, it was 94%. तो urban area का 94% है, rural का है आपका 87%. Overall हम बात करें, it has increased from 79 to 89%. That is the thing that you should remember. ठीक है? I hope this is clear. Let's move on to the next question. So the next question is, which one of the following state has the highest children under 5 stunting rate? तो वो बच्चे जो under 5 years of age हैं, and they are basically talking about the stunting rate in that particular age group of the children, and which state is having the highest such kind of children which are suffering from stunting and they are under the 5 years age group. And guys, here in this question the right answer is Meghalaya. So Meghalaya is the right answer to this question, the state which is having the highest number of children under 5 stunting rates. तो यहाँ पर जब मैं बताऊं इस पर्टिकुलर चीज की, तो आप देख सकते हो जो लेवल ऑफ स्टंटिंग है in India among the children under 5 years of age, it has marginally declined from 38 to 36%. So a very important thing that you should remember from the exam point of view, it has decreased from 38 to 36%. And see, such kind of data you can always quote them when you are answering the descriptive questions as well. But अभी हम बात कर रहे हैं phase 1 की, तो phase 1 के लिए guys this kind of data is very important, क्योंकि इन्हीं डेटा के ऊपर आते हैं क्वेश्चन आपके एग्जाम के अंदर. तो अब हम बात करते हैं जब स्टंटिंग की, so it was highest among children in rural areas, that is 37%, and when I talk about the urban areas it was less, that is 30%. ठीक है, और जब हम बात करते हैं वेरिएशन इन द स्टंटिंग रेंजेस, so it was basically lowest in the Puducherry 20% and highest in Meghalaya 47%. तो यहाँ पर मैं आपको बता दूं that is basically the third dimension of covering any kind of report and indices, that is the important ranking. उसके अंदर टॉप परफॉर्मर कौन था, वर्स्ट परफॉर्मर कौन है, ठीक है, दैट मींस हाईएस्ट, लोएस्ट, ये सब चीजें आपको पता रहनी चाहिए। तो जब हम बात करते हैं हाईएस्ट की, द स्टेट विच इज हैविंग हाईएस्ट सच काइंड ऑफ चिल्ड्रन, इट इज मेघालय, एंड द स्टेट और यूटी विच इज हैविंग द लोएस्ट, दैट इज पुडुचेरी विद द 20%. So this is a very important point that you should remember from the exam point of view. Let's move on to the next question. And guys, here the next question is that what is the percentage of prevalence among women having a bank or savings account? See, this particular report not only tells us about the health, about the stunting, the maternal mortality rate, the infant mortality rate. Apart from that, it also tells us about some other criteria that is related to the gender issues. Once again, a very important part from the syllabus. And here you can see the question is basically on that women having the bank or savings account. तो यहाँ पर कितने women से which are having this particular account as per the National Family Health Survey 5. See, this particular report also tells us about कि कितने हमारे households हैं जो कि clean cooking fuel को use कर रहे हैं. See, we are not able to just cover all such kind of dimensions in this session, but we are trying our best to cover the maximum of it to give you the maximum thing from this particular minimum amount of time. ठीक है जी? So when I talk about the right answer, guys, the right answer is option 4, that is 79%. So 79% is the right answer. Subhashmita Panda, Sanju Rathod, Vishal, everybody has answered the question correctly. तो यहाँ पर हम बात करते हैं, there was seen that overall improvement in SDG indicators. तो total sustainable development goals कितने हमारे? That is 17 in number. A very important point. तो यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हो कि जो वुमेन्स की डिसीजन मेकिंग है, तो घर में जो भी डिसीजन लिए जाते हैं उसमें वुमेन्स का जो रोल है दैट हैज आल्सो गॉट इंप्रूव्ड. एंड व्हेन आई टॉक अबाउट रूरल पार्ट, इट इज 77%, इन द अर्बन एरियाज इट इज 81%, व्हिच इज वेरी marginal. That the difference is very marginal in this particular part. And when I talk about when women is having bank or the savings account, this particular part has basically increased from 53 to 79% in the last 4 years. That is from NFHS 4 to NFHS 5. It has increased from 53 to 79%. So guys, I hope this is clear. Let's move on to the next question. And now we are moving towards the next important report, that is the census. तो जब भी census आता है तो पहला क्वेश्चन जो आपके मन में आना चाहिए कि कौन से ईयर के अंदर census को कंडक्ट किया गया था. When was the first census conducted in India? Is it 1872, 1891, 1911, 1921, 1951? See guys, we always tell you that when we talk about the reports, तो कोई भी रिपोर्ट जिसका जो लास्ट एडिशन है दैट इज द लेटेस्ट एडिशन वन, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड सेंसस एंड सोशियो इकोनॉमिक कास्ट सेंसस, दीज आर द टू रिपोर्ट्स जिनका एग्जांपल सबसे ज्यादा फिट बैठता है इसी कैटेगरी में, बिकॉज दिस इज द रिपोर्ट व्हिच वाज रिलीज्ड इन 2011 एंड स्टिल इट हैज अ वेरी हाई इंपॉर्टेंस फ्रॉम द एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, एंड यू आर रिक्वायर्ड टू कवर सच काइंड ऑफ रिपोर्ट फ्रॉम द एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. So when I talk about the right answer to this question, absolutely right. The right answer is 1872, and this particular census was being conducted under the Census Act 1948. ठीक है? And this, when I talk about the census 2011, it marked the first time when biometric information was being collected. Apart from that, guys, when I talk about census 2011, there was a question on addition of the census, which is going to be released, which was yet to be released in year 2021, and that was basically census 2021. और उसके एडिशन के ऊपर क्वेश्चन आया था. तो जब हम बात करते हैं census 2011 का एडिशन क्या था, it is basically the 15th national census of the country, और उसका स्लोगन क्या था जिसके साथ उसको रिलीज किया गया था, that is our census our future. So guys, द स्लोगन कौन से ईयर में उसको लॉन्च किया गया था, उसके बारे में कौन से एक्ट के अंदर उसको कंडक्ट किया जाता है, कौन कंडक्ट करता है, these are the questions that must be arising in your mind whenever you are looking at such kind of topic, and we are covering all such kind of dimensions in our today's session. So guys, now the next question, who was the Registrar General and the Census Commissioner of the India for the Census 2011 Indian Census? तो 2011 का जो इंडियन सेंसस है उसके लिए हमारा जो रजिस्ट्रार जनरल था और जो सेंसस कमिश्नर था वो कौन था? इज इट बिमल जलान, सुधीर मुखर्जी, or it is संभावना पंडित, RS पाठक और C Chandramouli? So guys, the right answer to this question is option number 5, that is C Chandramouli. So such kind of questions are always being asked in the exam. जैसे हमने NEP 2020 में पढ़ा that it was K कस्तूरी रंगन जी जिनकी चेयरमैनशिप के अंदर इस कमेटी को बनाया गया था for the NEP 2020, and similarly when I talk about the Registrar General and the Census Commissioner, it was C Chandramouli. ठीक है? Now the next important question, When was the first time transgender population was included in the census? तो वो ईयर मुझे बताओ, वो सेंसस का एडिशन बताओ जिसके अंदर सबसे पहली बार ट्रांसजेंडर पॉपुलेशन को भी कंसिडर किया गया था इन द इंडियन सेंसस. इज इट 1971, 1981, 1991, 2001 or 2011? Let's see who will answer the question correctly here. So guys, a very important question from the exam point of view, and this can be a probable question in the exam. So now quickly tell me, from this particular census, when was the first time the transgender population was being included? And here the right answer to the question is 2011. That means the latest edition of the census. 2011 is a census which included the transgender population, which happened फॉर द वेरी फर्स्ट टाइम. और कोई भी चीज पहली बार होती है वो अपने आप में इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाती है, एंड दैट इज व्हाई दिस इज रियली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फ्रॉम द एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. सो वेल डन गाइस, आई एम रियली ग्लैड कि सभी ने दिया इस क्वेश्चन का सही आंसर. सो दैट इज अभिषेक, विशाल, राठौड़, नीलेश, अंकित, मधुसूदन. सो एवरीबॉडी हैव आंसर्ड द क्वेश्चन करेक्टली. लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. सो द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज अबाउट द फीमेल पॉपुलेशन, दैट इज लिटरेसी रेट. लिटरेसी रेट फीमेल पॉपुलेशन की क्या है इंडिया के अंदर? दैट इज व्हाट यू आर रिक्वायर्ड टू टेल मी एज पर द सेंसस 2011. तो लिटरेसी रेट क्या है, सेक्स रेशियो क्या है, कौन सी स्टेट के अंदर हाईएस्ट पॉपुलेशन है, किसमें लोएस्ट पॉपुलेशन है, कौन से डिस्ट्रिक्ट में, यूटी में हाईएस्ट सेक्स रेशियो है, कहां पर हाईएस्ट लिटरेसी रेट है. दीज आर द थिंग्स that you should cover from the exam point of view. So Rathod is saying that 0.1% of the population which is transgender. Okay, so guys, now when I talk about the right answer to this question, that is basically we are talking about that what percentage of female population is literate in India, and that is basically 0.65. तो यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हो guys, apart from that when I talk about the effective literacy rate in India, it has increased total of 74.04 with 82.14% of the males and 65.46% of the females. So that means 65.46% is for the females, and when I talk about the male, it is 82.14%. और जब हम इफेक्टिव बात करें दैट ओवरऑल लिटरेसी रेट इंडिया के अंदर क्या है, दैट इज बेसिकली 74.04%. So these values which are being marked in the red and which are being highlighted here guys, these are really very important to be covered. ठीक है जी. Moving on to the next question. Now tell me the most populous state of India. कौन सी स्टेट मोस्ट पॉपुलस है? A very easy question. आपने n number of times इस क्वेश्चन को पढ़ा होगा. अब मुझे क्विकली बताइए चैट बॉक्स के अंदर क्या है इस क्वेश्चन का सही आंसर. सेंसस 2011 के अकॉर्डिंग मोस्ट पॉपुलस स्टेट कौन सी है इंडिया की? एंड हियर गाइस द राइट आंसर इज उत्तर प्रदेश. So Uttar Pradesh is basically the most populous state, having 200 million people. So 200 million people are living in the Uttar Pradesh as per census 2011, and that is how it is the most populous state as per census 2011. Now guys, apart from that आप देख सकते हो कि a little over 5 out of 10 Indians live in the 6 states. That means the जो top हमारी 6 populous states हैं in India, what exactly are these states? That is Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Bihar, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. So these are the name of the states which are the most populous states. और जो यहाँ पर हमारी स्टेट है जो कि हेड कर रही है, लीड कर रही है इस पर्टिकुलर लिस्ट में, दैट इज बेसिकली उत्तर प्रदेश. ठीक है जी. नाउ द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज द हाईएस्ट पॉपुलेशन डेंसिटी. कौन सी स्टेट है जिसके अंदर हाईएस्ट पॉपुलेशन डेंसिटी है? क्विकली टेल मी द राइट आंसर. हाईएस्ट पॉपुलेशन डेंसिटी हमारी कौन सी स्टेट के अंदर आती है? क्विकली टेल मी व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज द राइट आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन. इज इट बिहार, वेस्ट बंगाल, केरला, उत्तर प्रदेश और महाराष्ट्र? क्या है गाइस इस क्वेश्चन का सही आंसर? लेट्स सी हु विल आंसर द क्वेश्चन करेक्टली. So when I talk about the state which is having the highest population density as per the census 2011, so the right answer to this question is basically Bihar. So Bihar is having the highest population density. ठीक है जी. तो यहाँ पर जो हम population density की बात करें, it is basically 1102 persons per kilometer square. तो as I already told you कि हमने most populous state तो पढ़ा. Can anybody tell me कि वो कौन सी state है which is the least populous state? तो मैंने आपको कहा कि भाई पॉपुलर स्टेट तो याद रखना जरूरी है, हाईएस्ट वैल्यू, और जिसकी सबसे कम है उसकी भी आपको वैल्यू पता होनी चाहिए. तो मुझे जल्दी बताइए कि कौन सी स्टेट है which is the least populous state in India. What exactly is the name of that particular state? The state having the least populous state. We are covered that Uttar Pradesh is having the highest population. What exactly is the name of the state which is having the least population? And here I am getting mixed reviews from the people here. Some are going with Goa, some are saying Sikkim. So all the people who are opting the Sikkim as the right answer, guys, that is absolutely right. That is Sikkim. So apart from that, when I talk about कि least population UT कौन सी है आपकी, that is basically Lakshadweep. ठीक है। तो लीस्ट पॉपुलस हमारी जो यूटी है दैट इज लक्षद्वीप, लीस्ट पॉपुलस स्टेट है सिक्किम, हाईएस्ट पॉपुलस स्टेट है हमारी उत्तर प्रदेश। तो ये सभी डायमेंशंस आपको कवर करनी चाहिए व्हेन यू आर कवरिंग द सेंसस 2011। ठीक है जी, आई होप दिस इज क्लियर। लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन। सो नाउ टेल मी कि कौन सी इनमें से स्टेट है जिसकी हैविंग लोएस्ट परसेंटेज ऑफ द अर्बन पॉपुलेशन कंपेयर टू द टोटल पॉपुलेशन। तो आपको मुझे बताना है उस स्टेट का नाम विच इज हैविंग द लोएस्ट परसेंटेज, जिसकी अर्बन पॉपुलेशन को जब हम कंपेयर करें उसकी ओवरऑल पॉपुलेशन से तो उसकी लोएस्ट परसेंटेज आती है। सो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इट इज इट हिमाचल प्रदेश, उत्तराखंड, बिहार, असम और उड़ीसा? व्हाट इज द राइट आंसर गाइस? So here guys, the right answer to the question number 23 is basically option 1, that is Himachal Pradesh. So Himachal Pradesh is having the only 10.03% as the urban population. Now as we have already covered कि lowest percentage of the urban population कहाँ है, now quickly tell me कि highest कहाँ पर है? Which state is having the highest percentage of the urban population compared to the urban population? Let's see who will answer the question correctly here. Himachal Pradesh is having the lowest urban population. Now when I talk about the highest one, it is basically in Goa. ठीक है जी। So these are the important points that you should always remember from the exam point of view, और ऐसी ही डिटेल्स एग्जाम के अंदर आती है, डायमेंशंस चेंज हो जाती हैं एंड और आपको तभी हम सभी के सभी क्वेश्चंस यहाँ पर कवर करा रहे हैं। ठीक है, लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन। द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज ऑन द सेक्स रेशियो। सो व्हाट इज द सेक्स रेशियो ऑफ इंडिया एट द नेशनल लेवल? अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन। नेशनल फैमिली हेल्थ सर्वे के अकॉर्डिंग इंडिया की जो सेक्स रेशियो है वो क्या थी इन द रूरल एरियाज, अर्बन एरियाज? There was a question like this in the RBI Grade B phase 1 and such kind of question can come in the NABARD Grade A exam, phase 1 exam। ठीक है जी, तो आपका जो भी phase 1 का एग्जाम है NABARD Grade A का, उसके अंदर ये पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन आ सकता है एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से। So quickly tell me that what is the sex ratio of India at the national level? So guys, यहाँ पर when I talk about the right answer is option 3, that is 940. So all of you have answered the question correctly. Albert, Nilesh, Puneet, Sakshi, everybody is saying that 940 is the right answer. Well done guys. तो यहाँ पर बात करते हैं जब ओवरऑल सेक्स रेशियो की at the national level it is increased by 7 points, that is to 940 as per census 2011. Now quickly tell me the name of the state which is having the highest sex ratio. तो guys, highest sex ratio कौन सी स्टेट में है? हमने पढ़ा ओवरऑल सेक्स रेशियो कितनी है, तो मुझे जल्दी जल्दी बताइए कि हाईएस्ट सेक्स रेशियो कहां पर है और साथ ही साथ लोएस्ट सेक्स रेशियो कौन सी स्टेट के अंदर है। लेट्स सी हु विल आंसर द क्वेश्चन करेक्टली हियर। So Nilesh is saying that Kerala is basically having the highest sex ratio. Absolutely right. So when I talk about the highest, the right answer is Kerala. And when I talk about the state which is having the lowest sex ratio as per the census, it is basically Haryana. ठीक है जी, तो I hope that this is very much clear to all of you. These are the details that you should remember from the exam point of view. Let's move on to the next question. And the next question is about the state is having the highest literacy rate. तो कौन सी स्टेट है जिसका हाईएस्ट लिटरेसी रेट है? वी हैव ऑलरेडी कवर्ड दैट इज केरला। और केरला का कितना है? इट इज बेसिकली 93.91% पॉपुलेशन ऑफ द केरला इज लिटरेट। ठीक है जी, तो यहां पर हमने इसको ऑलरेडी डिस्कस कर लिया था दैट द हाईएस्ट लिटरेसी रेट इज विद द केरला, लोएस्ट इज विद, ठीक है। सो now guys, let's move on to the next question and the next question is on the socio-economic caste census। तो अगला क्वेश्चन आता है socio-economic caste census के ऊपर और आपको मुझे बताना है कि it was released in which one of the following years। तो कौन से ईयर में socio-economic caste census 2011 को रिलीज किया था? See guys, this was a really a very important question। कौन सा ईयर में इसको लॉन्च किया गया? That is really very important because this is the only such kind of caste census which has taken place and I am getting the right answers. Absolutely right guys, the right answer is 2015. So Nilesh, Vishal, Kunal, everybody is saying that the right answer is option number 5, that is 2015. Well done. And now guys, when I talk about the other important details here, so this particular SECC 2011 it began on 29 June 2011 और ये कौन से विलेज से स्टार्ट हुआ था, कौन सी स्टेट का वो पर्टिकुलर विलेज है? दैट इज बेसिकली संखोला विलेज इन त्रिपुरा। तो त्रिपुरा के संखोला विलेज से इस पर्टिकुलर SECC को लॉन्च किया गया था, जहां से इसको स्टार्ट किया गया था एंड दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट। नाउ लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन। नाउ क्विकली टेल मी दैट व्हिच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग are basically behind the conduction of the socio-economic caste census 2011। As I already told you कि releasing body is the very important part, जो conduct कर रहा है that is also very important part। जैसे हमने देखा कि census सॉरी नेशनल फैमिली हेल्थ सर्वे, उसको रिलीज कोई और बॉडी कर रही है, उसको कंडक्ट कोई और बॉडी कर रही है। सिमिलरली व्हेन आई टॉक अबाउट द सोशल इकोनॉमिक कास्ट सेंसस, आपको बताना है कि व्हिच इज बेसिकली द कंडक्टिंग बॉडी फॉर द सोशल इकोनॉमिक कास्ट सेंसस, एंड हियर द राइट आंसर इज all the Registrar General of India, Census Commission of India and National Sample Survey Office. These are basically behind the conduction of the socio-economic caste census. So guys, here the right answer to the question is option number 5, that is all 1, 2 and 3. तो यहाँ पर मैं देख रहा हूँ कि बहुत सारे बच्चे ऑप्शन 1, 2, 4 को चूज कर रहे हैं। guys, this is not the right answer. The right answer is option number 5, that is Registrar General of India, Census Commissioner and the National Sample Survey Office. ठीक है जी, तो यहाँ पर I'm marking the star here because most of the students have answered the question incorrectly here. That's why it really becomes important. Now here you can see that what exactly is the पर्सन से यार। ठीक है जी, तो यहाँ पर जब हम पैरामीटर्स देखते हैं कि कौन सी कमेटी है जिसके ऊपर जो पैरामीटर्स लिए गए हैं इस पर्टिकुलर सेंसस को कंडक्ट करने के लिए, इट वाज बेसिकली ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ एसआर हाशिम कमेटी। तो वंस अगेन गाइस, ये पर्टिकुलर कमेटी का नाम आपको याद रखना जरूरी है कि बेसिकली किसके ऊपर हम यहाँ पर कर रहे हैं। ठीक है जी, आई होप दैट दिस इज वेरी मच क्लियर गाइस। लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. So guys, here the next question is, which of the following is not a parameter for the grading of deprivation? A very very important point. So basically under the grading of deprivation there are 7 parameters and here you are required to tell me कि इसमें से कौन सा वो पैरामीटर नहीं है। ठीक है, तो इस क्वेश्चन को आंसर करने के लिए you are really basically required to remember सभी चीजें। ठीक है, जितने भी सारे पैरामीटर्स हैं आपको ये याद रखने चाहिए, दैट इज द ग्रेडिंग ऑफ डेप्रिवेशन। तो ग्रेडिंग ऑफ डेप्रिवेशन में आप मुझे जल्दी जल्दी बताइए कि कौन सा इनमें से पैरामीटर नहीं है। सो सम पीपल आर सेइंग दैट देयर वाज सम इशू इन द क्वेश्चन नंबर 27 गाइस, डू नॉट वरी अबाउट इट। इफ देयर इज एनी इशू आई विल रीचेक इट, ठीक है, एंड आई विल अपडेट द पीडीएफ, डू नॉट वरी अबाउट इट। तो वो आपको बता दिया जाएगा। लेट्स फोकस ऑन द क्वेश्चन नंबर 28. So what is the right answer to the question number 28? You are just required to tell me the parameter which is not in the grading of the deprivation, and absolutely right, all of you chosen the correct answer here. That is option number 3, that is primitive tribal groups. So primitive tribal groups is the right answer to this question. तो यहाँ पर वो सभी पैरामीटर्स दिए गए हैं, 7 पैरामीटर्स which are really important for the grading of deprivation. क्या है वो parameters? Here you can see household with a kacha house, no adult member which is in the working age in that particular household. Apart from that, household with the handicapped members and no able-bodied adult. So these are the parameters that you should remember, which are basically for the grading of deprivation. ठीक है, so यहाँ पर socio economic caste census का very very important point है that you should remember from the exam point of view. Now let's move on to the next question, and the next question is on basically the illiteracy. ठीक है, how many rural people in India are illiterate? ठीक है, तो आप मुझे बताइए as per SEC 2011 how many rural people are illiterate as per SEC 2011. Here the percentage are being mentioned here. Quickly tell me what is the right answer to this question. We have covered in the census 2011 basically कि इंडिया का लिटरेसी रेट क्या है, तो बट यहाँ पर ये बात कर रहा है रूरल पीपल की। रूरल पीपल अगर हम देखिए, रूरल पॉपुलेशन को देखा जाए तो उसके अंदर कितने लोग इलिटरेट हैं, दैट इज व्हाट इज बेसिकली इट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट। एंड गाइस हियर द राइट आंसर इज ऑप्शन 5, दैट इज 35.73%. सो वेल डन गाइस, ऑल ऑफ यू हैव आंसर्ड द क्वेश्चन करेक्टली. दैट इज the right answer to the question is option 5, that is 35.73%. Well done. So now let's move on to the last question of our today's session, and guys, all of you are requested to answer the question correctly in the comment section. Quickly tell me the what is the right answer. Which of the following state has topped the list of the largest number of the manual scavengers households as per SECC 2011? तो SECC 2011 के अकॉर्डिंग कौन सी स्टेट है which is having the highest number of manual scavengers? So what is the right answer guys here? Is it Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh or Karnataka? Let's see who will answer the question correctly. So here I am getting the right answers from the people. Most of the people are basically opting option number 1, that is Maharashtra is the right answer, and that is absolutely right. So Maharashtra is the state which is having the highest number of manual scavenger households as per SECC 2011. So guys, this is basically the right answer to this particular question. So guys, that was all from the today's session, and before concluding this session guys, I would like to tell you here that you are having a very very good news from all of you, that we are having a wow sale in which we are offering you flat 40% off plus additional 10% off, ठीक है, on the NABARD Grade A Gold, Silver and the combo packages, ठीक है. But in order to avail this particular discount, what is the code that you are required to use here? That is basically NABARD. Or guys, quickly I am telling you here that this code is only valid from 9th August to 10th of August. Here you can see the dates as well. It is only valid till 10th of August, ठीक है. तो आज के लिए ही ये है. And now let's move on to your queries. If guys you are having any kind of queries, I will be really happy to answer your queries here. So quickly tell me your queries if you are having any regarding the session and regarding the preparation for the NABARD Grade A exam. And otherwise we will be concluding this particular session. So I really believe कि आप लोगों ने इस particular session को काफी enjoy किया होगा. We were having different kind of questions on the different kind of dimensions from all the important reports. We covered NEP 2020, we covered NFHS, Census and socio-economic caste census. तो most important questions हमने यहाँ से cover कर लिए हैं, ठीक है. And tomorrow once again I will be coming, ठीक है. So do not worry about it. मैं कल भी आने वाला हूँ एक ऐसे ही session के साथ. So Tarun is saying the PDF. Do not worry guys. PDF आपको Telegram channel पर मिल जाएगी. Do not worry about it. Don't worry, if you are having any kind of queries regarding the preparation, you can just ask me, or otherwise we will be concluding this particular session. So here I am seeing that nobody is having any kind of query. So guys, thank you for joining us. Wish you all happy learning. Stay happy, stay healthy. I will be. And still, if you find any kind of query, what you can do, you can just share your queries at hello@edutap.co.in, and you can also call us at 814-620-7241. So guys, once again, thank you for joining us. Wish you all happy.